Breaking news just into the newsroom here just before midnight. A man has now been indicted with murder after a shooting that happened this summer. A Jefferson County grand jury last month indicting 35-year-old Timothy Garmany on one count of murder. This shooting happened back on August 19th on South 8th Street at Avenue Plaza Apartments. Garmany was arrested on a murder warrant by the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office as he showed up for a district court appearance on another matter just today. Also breaking tonight, a woman is dead after being hit by a pickup truck. It happened just after 6 p.m. on Cane Run Road near Global Drive. Police say a woman wearing dark clothing was riding a motor-type bike with no proper safety equipment when a man driving a pickup truck hit her. The man stopped and remained on the scene until EMS arrived. The woman was taken to a local hospital where she later died tonight. Metro Police say no other vehicles were involved and no charges are expected to be filed against the driver. Hello, everybody, and thanks for joining us a little late after ABC's Monday Night Football. I'm Doug Proffitt. My story on Louisville's forgotten NFL team is coming up in just about 5 minutes. But first, we have the breaking news out of Lexington tonight. We just learned the buyout information for the fired UK football coach Mark Stoops. He's going to get every penny of that whopping deal, but the coach is allowing UK to spread out the deposits to his bank account. Sports reporter Sarandon Raboyne is here. She got the open records request from UK tonight and has the pricey details. Sarandon?
Well, Doug, the biggest thing is that Mark Stoops will get paid his full $37.7 million, but the payout will now be spread until the year 2031. His original contract stated that he be paid in full in 60 days of his termination, but Stoops has agreed to have given it over time. Here is the breakdown. The first increment will be $3,937,000 within 15 days of the separation. Stoops was fired on December 1st. Officially, so that payment is due in the next 7 days. The remaining payments will be distributed quarterly through April 2031. $6,750,000 will be paid each contract year. That breaks down to quarterly payments of $1,687,500. The payments will not be subject to mitigation, which means that they won't be reduced by future earnings, and mutually, both parties agreed to a non-disparagement clause. We also learned what new Kentucky head coach Will Stein's contract looks like. I'll detail that coming up in sports. Doug?
All right, a big name of contracts there. Thank you very much, Sarandon. Well, just a few hours ago, in a 6-3 vote, Indiana's Senate Elections Committee in Indianapolis advanced the controversial redistricting bill. It's going to come to a floor vote now on Thursday of this week. The decision comes after months of fiery debate, and the Senate committee saw more than 100 Hoosiers sign up to give the opinions alone, most arguing against the effort. President Donald Trump has pushed Indiana hard to redistrict, sending Vice President J.D. Vance in person. The Indiana House passed the measure last week. The map moves representation for areas like New Albany and Clarksville to be represented by Indianapolis delegates. Republicans currently hold 7 of the state's 9 districts, and the new bill would only increase the supermajority. Again, the Senate votes on the new districts coming up this Thursday. Also new happening tonight, King Elementary School students in Louisville and parents got together tonight to show their support for keeping their school open. The school board will vote tomorrow on holding off on the superintendent's sweeping proposal to close, sell, and consolidate schools. WHAS11 team's Alex Dieter, photojournalist Levi Hammer are on Vermont Avenue.
It's like my second home and my safe place.
I love it. I love all my teachers, and I really love the school. I like it.
King Elementary students.
This school been up and it just got renovated, so why are you trying to shut us down?
Bundled up and legs swinging, looking up at their school. The day before the JCPS board is expected to vote on if they'll continue learning here or 3 miles down the road at Maupin Elementary.
That will break my heart because I love all the teachers. I've been here since kindergarten and I don't want this school to shut down.
King is just one of the several schools included in the district's plan to close, consolidate, and to sell. Late last week, the JCPS board called to hold off on that proposal.
Save King!
The decision came days after King students, teachers, and parents marched to save their school, including first grader Ava.
The sign said, "Don't close the school down.
The district says that King Elementary is at 70% capacity, saying the average cost for a student is $33,000, which they say is well over the district's elementary school average per student, which is $23,500.
So this is a very vital institution here in our community.
Amanda Steckler has a 4th grader at King.
Her behavior has improved because of the ratios that we have here. We have a lot of staff per classrooms.
And says the board's call to pause the changes has left her hopeful.
I do really want for the school to stay open.
Like, it's good that they're taking a breather and thinking about this.
King students are left putting into practice what they learn inside the classroom.
Right now we're learning about perseverance and stuff, and we talk about on the morning meeting how we can make our day turn better or if we came in with a bad mood.
And waiting to see if their classrooms stay at King Elementary. In Shawnee, Alex Dieterwer, the WHAS11 night team on your side.
That big meeting is tomorrow night at 6, held at the Jefferson County School headquarters, the Van Hoos Education Center on Newburgh. We will be bringing you the latest from that meeting on the air and on our free mobile app. Now to Louisville's forgotten NFL team. The cheer of touchdown Brex is coming back alive tonight, thanks to a Louisville woman whose grandfather was on that one and only team. As Louisville welcomes a new pro football minor league team next March in Butchertown, I found the Brex were scrappy and determined, and they played in a baseball stadium.
Welcome to the Louisville Brex NFL football from Louisville, Kentucky. We have in Louisville, Kentucky, a very cold November afternoon, but a good day for football, and the fans have come out to watch the action here as Louisville, one of the premier teams of the National Football League, is hosting the Evansville team. Hello, everybody. This is Van Vance. I never dreamed in my lifetime that I would be doing a live play-by-play of NFL football from Eclipse Park in Louisville, Kentucky.
It's a cold, snowy day today.
Perfect for football.
Go Brex.
Go Brex.
Mary Pat Sexton is the granddaughter of someone that few in our city could ever claim.
So this was my grandfather in World War I.
Was he playing football yet here?
Yes, he was playing football.
Austin Higgins, her grandfather, a player, captain, and coach on Louisville's first and only NFL team, 1921 to 1924.
Louisville Breckenridge / Louisville Brex, but they were known as the Brex. A lot of them went to Mail High School, and Mail was located on Breckenridge Street.
The photos right down on the field show huge crowds of men and boys standing right on the sidelines. And take a look over here, sitting up high on a wall at 7th and Kentucky. The American Professional Football Association was created in 1920, and in 1922, it changed its name to the National Football League. Suddenly, the Brex were charter members of the NFL, playing the Green Bay Packers, the Chicago Bears, and Cleveland. Those were the founding teams of the NFL.
I know, isn't that unbelievable?
And the Louisville Brex are right there with them?
Louisville Brex are right there with them, absolutely. So, it's something to be said. Louisville should be proud.
Can you believe that they played the football games in a baseball stadium? Eclipse Field was right here.
I can, because I think that they would play football anywhere because they loved it so much.
Eclipse Park stood at 7th in Kentucky. You got to it by getting off a trolley at 4th Street and walking right down Baseball Alley.
On a November day, those wooden grandstands at Eclipse would have been full. There would have been an admission. There would have been getting here mainly by streetcar. And there's going to be a big crowd of enthusiastic people cheering the Louisville Brex.
U of L historian Tom Owen.
The main message here, Doug, is that pickup, scrappy football was in the neighborhoods of Louisville. And the best team in town was the Louisville Brex.
We're coming out of a timeout, and the Brex need to hang on here to get their first victory ever in the National Football League. Jimmy Van Dyke cuts to the left. Now he cuts back in, gets a good block. He's down to the 5-yard line. 3, 2, 1, touchdown, Louisville Brex.
But November 1922 would be the last game ever played in Eclipse Park.
Eclipse Park was a large baseball field with wooden bleachers and wooden grandstands. So it was unfortunately made of wood. In November of 1922, a fire broke out at Eclipse Park and literally burned to the ground.
And despite hometown enthusiasm for the games, the Brecks weren't the best in the NFL.
They only won one game?
One game, only one game. Yep.
Oh, your grandfather.
I know.
What would you have said to him?
You know what? I think he instilled it was more the love of the game than winning.
So that's why I asked Van Vance, the legendary sports voice of WHAS TV and radio from 1957 to 1999, to recreate what he could, using the names and positions of the players that Mary Pat provided us.
He's down to the 5-yard line. 3, 2, 1, touchdown, Louisville Brecks. It's over. The Louisville Brecks have won their first ever National Football League game at Eclipse Park, 13-6 over the Evansville Crimson Giants. Head coach Austin Higgins can be very, very happy today. They have won a National Football League game.
Van, now 92 years old, told us during his research that he couldn't stop thinking about one thing: what if?
They got into the league for $25, and now the value of the Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs played in the Super Bowl. Those teams are worth, one of them, $7 billion.
He also pointed to one big challenge that he faced: preparing the imaginary play-by-plays.
The first thing I noticed, Doug, was the Louisville Brecks on their uniform. They had a big B on the front of the chest. I would have required that they put some numbers on the front. It'd be difficult for me to broadcast their football game if I couldn't see a number.
So with that, Van, take us out.
Catch the trolleys that are waiting to take them to their home sweet homes here in Derby City, Louisville, Kentucky. It has been a great pleasure of yours truly, Van Vance, here on WHAS to broadcast in 1922 live action of the Louisville Brecks in the National Football League.
Bravo, Van Vance. He ad-libbed all of that. He could be right back here today. Well, so why did the Brecks fold? It came down to financial support. Mary Pat says even though they drew an average of 1,200 people a game in Louisville, the money in the end just wasn't there. As for the players, she told me it wasn't about the money for them. They made nothing playing the game. They made their salaries on their jobs and then played on the weekends for the Brecks. We have more news for you on this late edition of the Night Team. Coming up, former U of L Cardinal Terry Rozier pleading not guilty to his sports betting charges. We've got the details from his arraignment in New York right after this.
And it's another chilly night across Kentuckiana, but we are tracking gustier winds and milder temperatures for Tuesday and Wednesday, along with some midweek rain chances. I'll be breaking down those details coming up in our 7-day forecast. Here's a check of today's Kentucky Lottery jackpots. Mega Millions, $60 million. Powerball, $875 million.
The Kentucky Lottery, funding education for over 1 million Kentucky students.